I don't got no friends. I don't got no friends. You know what I mean? I got supporters, people on my side and people on the other side.
Welcome to the shift where the whole room glows. Dmg vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm like, yo, shine just right. Respect your view even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. This that channel that be talking back, energy attack. Iron sharpens iron, watch the whole league react. Competition in the building, better tighten up your facts. We ain't clones, but we still mirror how you crack under impact. Every debate will work hot, spot a weak, rap fast. You live wrong, paradigm shift, and break your stance. I'm the judge, the jury, the pen, the contrast. My bars hit always like a quadruple, bottom to the shift, where the whole room glow. Dmg vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't all align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. We invite every mind, long as you stand on yours. Walking with respect, leave with open doors. Channel stay lit, views jumping off from boards. STL bounce, yeah, the spot from the source. Competitors, welcome, step up, don't fold. We don't fear pressure, we refine under load. Thoughts heavy, we press them till the truth gets told. Shift so clean, if the platinum even willing to go. Come through correct, bring your logic and your proof. Speak your truth, just don't run from the truth. We debate with grace, that's the paradigm groove. Flow so smooth, even turbulence move. Welcome to the shift where the whole room go. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Where the home glow. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' go. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibes got the city on go. Welcome to the shift. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Welcome to the shift. If you black, I'm with you, black, I'm with you. Welcome to the shift. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. Welcome to the shift. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibe got the city on low. Walk with paradigm shift, keep it real for.
Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you. And I hope that you with me.
Hey, welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, DMG the Poet, a.k.a. Brother Pianki, also known as the infamous DMG. And today we got a powerful show with a powerful topic. Yours truly will be having one of those rare occasions where I jump into the ring and I do have a worthy opponent, the brother known as King Jay. Now, before we get into our spiel, y'all know I got to do my spiel. Allow me to say, God bless to all my Christian brothers and sisters, Hotep to all my Kemetic brothers and sisters. I want to say shalom to all my Israelite brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum to all my brothers and sisters in the NOI and Islam, period. I want to say Islam to all my Moorish brothers and sisters. Peace to all my brothers and sisters in the nations of God and earth, them 5%ers. I want to say salute to all my Abo brothers and sisters. Shout out to all my atheist brothers and sisters. I want to say bless up to all my Rasta brothers and sisters. Last and certainly not least, I want to say Jumbo to all the rest of my brothers and sisters all throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you're Black, I'm with you, and I hope that you with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting. We can have unity without uniformity, and last and certainly not least, we can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. With that being said, my brother King Jay, please reintroduce yourself to the Paradigm Shift TV 314 audience.
Definitely was a grand intro. I feel like that was one of those Shannon Sharp intros, you feel me? But definitely a pleasure to be on the panel, you know what I'm saying, to grace your platform. So definitely it's been you know, a couple days, so supposed to have been here Friday, but you know what happened, so we here now. So an eventful packed day for Paradigm Shift. We have this debate for you. Then follow right up, we have the brothers JJ and Jose with another good topic. So we giving it to you for this Sunday morning. You feel me? Hey, ready to jump into it whenever you're ready to jump into it.
No doubt. And this man needs no introduction. He is a legend in the debate community. He is the mighty Mandinka Mali, aka JJ7K, and he is the current Paradigm Shift TV 314 debate champ. Please reintroduce yourself, my brother.
All right, man. Thank you for that beautiful entrance. You know what I'm saying? That introduction there. That's right. The champ is here. The champ is back. But you know what? You ain't got to worry about it today, both of you debaters, because the champ is the host. I'm the host today, so you ain't got to hide your PowerPoint from me. That's right. Hey, shout out to my wife, my queen, Jenny Hayes. Shout out to the Lions Den, Paradigm Shift, and the rest of the team. This is a grand topic today. Was Christianity forced on enslaved African Americans? Both of these brothers finna get in the ring. They're finna bring their sources, their references, their PowerPoint, Chicago style citations, peer review articles. That is a qualification when it comes time to these debates nowadays.
Let's get it.
You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? We got two heavy hitters with, you know, these guys, they've been around, but, you know, they kind of jumped off the porch, you know, last year, getting in the ring. So, hey, but they always been intellectuals amongst us.
Appreciate that.
So, like I said, we're going to let these guys figure this topic out. I'm going to say it once again. Christianity forced enslaved African American. And after this, like I said, we got another powerful goddamn debate. Dang on debate. Hey, the people's champ, the 314 champ, the two-time HOK champ, and the celt of the HOK. It's getting back in the ring, defending the belt. You know, hey, they've been running and hiding, slipping and sliding, and scrambling and scraping to get away from JJ. Finally, somebody stepped up to the forefront. This ain't about me, y'all. This is about these two competitors right here. So, hey, am I the timekeeper too? You didn't tell me about that. Am I the timekeeper? I guess I can be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A couple hours, I'm going to get into the
Yes, sir. You the jack of all.
We'll get into this.
So look. Hey, no profanity. No profanity. I got church folk watching now. No profanity.
All right. Yeah.
Let's get it.
No profanity. You hear me? So listen. So I'm gonna tell you the format. Right. We're gonna have a 5-minute opening, ladies and gentlemen, from both competitors, and then we're gonna have both of them will have 2 15-minute rounds apiece. I guess within that 15 minutes, they can kind of rebuttal each other, and then I don't know. And then after that, they're gonna have 5 questions. They're gonna have 5 questions, and then they're gonna do their 5-minute.
3 questions. 3 questions.
And then we're gonna go to the audience. Oh, excuse me. 3 questions. Then we're gonna go to the audience. So. The affirmative is Brother King Jay.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
he's going to come out. His affirmative position was Christianity forced upon enslaved
Yes, sir.
African Americans.
Yes,
So
sir.
whenever you brothers ready, I get a clock going, and we're gonna
Let's
get this
go.
show on the road. And like I say, after this, hey, stay tuned because we got another powerful debate. Go ahead,
All right,
so
I'm gonna
let me
mute
know when you're
out.
ready. I get my clock out.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead and
mute out, and King Jay gonna do his minute open.
go ahead and get it out. I'm ready.
Mute out too.
All right, let me know when I can go.
It's on you, my brother.
All right,
No, that's on JJ
and
because he keeping
start your
time.
time.
Let's go. All right.
Your time starts now.
The title of today's debate is simple, direct, and historically absolute. Was Christianity forced upon African slaves? My opponent enters this room prepared to argue a romanticized, ahistorical fantasy. He is going to try to convince you that forced conversion, because that is the topic, was Christianity forced upon African slaves, was forced conversion. He's going to try to convince you that forced conversion is a theological impossibility, right? He's going to try to convince you that you have to believe the doctrine in order to be forcefully converted, right? He will argue that to be a Christian, you must possess an internal intellectual understanding of doctrine, catechism, and scripture, right? He's going to argue that you must know the doctrine, right? Furthermore, to escape the bloody tracks of history, he may attempt a desperate semantic trap, claiming that the Roman Catholic Church that built the transatlantic slave trade wasn't really Christianity, right? We ready for that. We're going to get ready to that out the door, right? Let us dismantle that historical illiteracy out the gate. In antiquity, Catholic and Christian were identical synonyms. They're synonymous, right? The word comes from the Greek katholikos. Might be not pronouncing that correct, but meaning universal. So in 110 AD, St. Ignatius, a direct disciple of the Apostle John, wrote, "Wherever Jesus Christ is, there is the Catholic Church. There's the Catholic Church." In 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea, which codified the Trinity and the divinity of Christ, concluded its creed by explicitly invoking the authority of the Catholic and Apostolic Church. In 380 AD, Emperor Theodosius issued the Edict of Thessalonians, legally mandating that all true believers assume the title of Catholic Christians. So we're establishing here that the Catholic Church is the Christian church, right? In its exception from the beginning, right? If my opponent claims the early Catholic Church wasn't Christian, he rejects the very councils that gave him the Trinity, the creeds, and the New Testament canon itself. The historical record is clear. The church was mainstream Christianity. The Catholic Church was mainstream Christianity, to be exact. And when the empires of Europe initiated the transatlantic slave trade, they didn't break Christian rules. They simply followed the script. The concept of chattel slavery, the legal classification of a human being as a permanent inheritable property, is woven directly into the fabric of the biblical canon. My opponent claims that slave owners had to corrupt the text to justify permanent bondage and the theft of children. He does not know his own book. Let us look at Exodus 21, 2-6. The Bible text explicitly codifies that if a master gives a male slave a wife and she bears him children, the woman and her children belong permanently to the master, and that the slave can be held for life. That's chattel slavery. Let's look at the Leviticus 25, 44-46, which explicitly states your male and female slaves are to come from nations around you. You can buy them, and you can bequeath them to your children as inherited property. This is chattel slavery. Kind of goes into the same Christian scriptures where they say that Christians aren't allowed to enslave other Christians, right? But you're still allowed to enslave the other nations. So this is in your text from the beginning, where it says you can buy them, you can bequeath them to your children as inherited property. You can make them your slaves for life. That's chattel slavery. When the white Christian lawmakers of early America sat down to construct the legal framework of American chattel slavery, they copied the homework of Exodus word for word. In 1662, they passed a law declaring that all children born in the colony would be bond or free only according to the condition of the mother, perfectly mirroring the property rules of Exodus. In 1667, they passed an act explicitly declaring that conferring that the conferring of baptism does not alter the condition of the person as to its bondage. Meaning that just because you're bonded, that you're baptized, doesn't mean that you can't be, doesn't free you from being a
10
slave.
minutes remaining.
How many?
10 minutes. Sorry.
This is my opening. I only got 5.
Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah. My fault. Yeah. 3 minutes. I'm so tripping. My fault. Your opening over. You went on for 5 minutes. Yep. You went on for 5. No, that was it. Yeah, 5 minute open. Yep. I caught it right there. Yep. Okay. So that brother came out with his opening. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get DMG, the infamous DMG, in the building to do his 5 minute opening. And then we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes. Go ahead, DMG. Let me know when you're ready. Take your screen down.
All right. Let me share my screen. You know, I'm a visual person. Let me blow my joint up right quick.
Right.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. Go ahead and start my time.
Now. Go ahead.
All right. Stop my time. My bad.
Yeah, go ahead. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
My bad. Hold on.
Everybody hit that like, share, and subscribe, man.
All right, we good. Start my time.
All right, your time starts now.
Start my time. We good. All right. Today's question is not whether slavery was evil. It was. The question is not whether slaveholders abused the Bible. Many did. The question before us is this: was Christianity itself forced upon African-American slaves? To answer that, we must first define Christianity. According to mainstream scholars, Christianity is the religion based on the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Therefore, Christianity must be judged by the teachings of Christ, not by the sinful actions of those who claimed his name. Throughout this debate, I will demonstrate 3 things. First, Jesus never commanded his followers to convert people through force, violence, or slavery. Instead, he taught us to love our neighbor, treat others as we wish to be treated, and proclaim liberty to the oppressed. Second, while slaveholders often attempted to use religion as a tool of control, enslaved Africans distinguished between the religion of the slaveholder and the teachings of Christ. They formed the invisible institution, embraced the Bible's message of hope and deliverance, and eventually built the Black church on their own understanding of the gospel. Finally, my opponent must prove not merely that slaveholders forced religious practices, but that Christianity itself, as defined by Jesus Christ, was forced. Those are not the same claim. The historical evidence, the scholarly definition of Christianity, and the teachings of Jesus all lead to the same conclusion. Slavery was forced, oppression was forced, but Christianity itself was not. I'm done.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a powerful debate. Both of these brothers laid out the good introduction to let you know where they're coming from, So I hope everybody taking notes because this is for to edify the body. That's what this is all about. So, King Jay, you're the affirmative. Let me know. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll start your time, sir. 15-minute rounds.
I'm ready. Start me off. Is my screen showing?
Right. Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right. So we see here the foundation of chattel property, and we look at Exodus and Leviticus as primary sources. So we open this debate with the most fundamental question of the night: was Christianity forced upon African slaves? To answer that, we cannot look at modern sanitized versions of faith. We must look at the foundational text that architects that the architects of the transatlantic slave trade held in their hands. My opponent's entire defense relies on a popular myth. The myth that white slave holders had to twist, corrupt, or misinterpret the Bible to justify chattel slavery. That is historically.
Hold on,
JJ, stop his time. Stop his time.
Yeah. I'm on it. Yeah, you're not sharing your screen. That's your introduction.
You sharing your screen, but it don't seem like it's moving.
Yeah,
It's moving. It's not. It's. I'm showing the foundation of chattel.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. You good. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm reading from.
Back over. Okay.
I'm reading from my notes right now.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
All right. I'll start. But so, are you starting me over?
Yeah, I'm starting you over because I interrupted. Go ahead.
I appreciate that. My opponent's entire defense relies on a popular myth. The myth that white slave owners had to twist, corrupt, or misinterpret the Bible to justify chattel slavery. That is historically and textually false. The white lawmakers of Virginia, Maryland, and the Carolinas did not need to invent a single property law. They simply copied the text verbatim from day one. Look at the screen. We are breaking this down into two clear legal mechanisms: the property statutes of the Old Testament that define what a slave is, and the penal enforcement codes of the New Testament that dictated how that slave must behave. So we see here in Leviticus 25, the text does not describe temporary servitude. It outlines the exact parameters of American chattel slavery, buying human beings as commodities, holding them permanently, and passing them down to your children as inheritable assets. In Exodus 21, the text explicitly codifies the destruction of the family unit, declaring that a slave's children belongs entirely to the master. So when we see in master having sex with the female slaves, having children, then those slave children are inherently his for forever. He knew what he was doing, right? So, and when you cross over to the New Testament, in the New Testament, 1 Peter and 1 Timothy provide the psychological handcuffs. They turn physical resistance into a sin against God and explicitly command slaves to bow down to the whip, not just when the master is kind, but specifically when the master is brutal and harsh. From day one, chattel slavery was not a violation of the Christian document. It was a documental requirement. So we see here chattel slavery, the legal reduction of human beings into an inheritable commodity, was woven into the fiber of the Bible, the biblical document from the very beginning. The architects of the American slave codes did not have to invent the property laws. They simply copied the biblical text. So we see here in the Exodus and Leviticus, the framework where it says, literally what it says. So to ensure this property remains submissive, the New Testament provided the penal code, the penalty. 1 Timothy 6:1 commands slaves to count their masters worthy of all honor so that God's name isn't blasphemy. While 1 Peter 2:18 commands total submission, not just to kind masters, but also to those who are harsh. So let's go. I don't know how much time. So we're talking about the definition of the word Catholic. Now that we established that chattel slavery is woven into the very fabric of the biblical
10 minutes remaining.
10 minutes. We must expose a massive linguistic and historical deception. My opponent is going to try to play semantic games tonight. When I expose the blood, the torture, and the forced conversions executed by the church, he is going to try to say, well, Jay, that was just the Roman Catholics. That really wasn't Christianity. Let us correct the record with raw history of languages and imperial history. The word Catholic comes from the Greek adjective Catholicos, which literally translates to universal according to the whole. When the early church fathers used this term, they weren't describing a small rogue sect. They were defining the one and only legitimate universal Christian body on earth. To be a Christian meant to be a member of the Universal Catholic Church. There was no alternative. So let's jump here to 380 AD, Emperor Theodotus. I didn't make a generic non-denominational faith to state religion under the Edict of Thessalonian. He legally decreed that the title of Catholic Christians belonged strictly to those who submitted to the Bishop of Rome. So let's go. I don't have much time. So we're jumping right here to 110 AD, where primary source is Ignatius of Antioch. So my opponent. So let's go here. The earliest recorded use of the term comes from Saint Ignatius, a disciple of the Apostle John, writing on his way to martyrdom in Rome. Wherever the bishop shall appear, let the multitude also be. Even as wherever Jesus Christ is, there is a Catholic Church. letter to the Smyrnians. Chapter 8. If the Catholic Church isn't Christian, then a direct disciple of the Apostle John didn't really know what Christianity was, is what the brother will probably try to argue. So let's jump straight here to the Nicene Creed. Now we move to 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea. My opponent wants you to believe that Christian doctrine is a natural, self-evident truth found cleanly in the scriptures. History shows us a completely different reality. Christian doctrine was manufactured, standardized, and legally enforced by the political empire. Before 325 AD, early followers of the church were radically divided. There were dozens of factions with completely different views on who Jesus actually was. Some believe he wasn't God at all. Others believe he was a separate, lesser created being. It was absolute theological chaos. Here comes the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great. He didn't just care about saving souls. He cared about saving the fractured empire. He needed political stability. So what did he do? He unified the religion to glue the empire together. He summoned 300 bishops in Nicaea, paid for the travel out of blah, 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 and ordered them to standardize the faith. The result of that was the Nicene Creed we have here in 325. The result of the Nicene Creed, a foundational statement of faith that defines the Trinity. But pay close attention to the final lines of the original 325 AD document, which apologists love to skip over. They are called the anathemas. The original creed didn't end with a peaceful amen. It ended with a legal curse. It explicitly stated that anyone who does not say these exact words or who believes a different version of Christ is anathema, meaning cursed or excommunicated and legally marked as the enemy of the state. So let's go. We see this here in the Nicene Creed. Let's go. Just jump because I know we don't have much time. 380 AD, we jump to the Edict of Thessalonians. JJ, let me know when I'm at 5 minutes. The absolute smoke.
I will. Yep.
The absolute smoking gun of Christian legal history. My opponent wants to pretend that Christianity spread across the world simply because it was a beautiful story that captured people's heart. History tells us a much darker, bloodier history. It spread because it became a mandatory imperial penal law. So let's not let him make this theological, philosophical great picture of what he thinks Christianity should be in his heart, right? We're talking about a mandated law, right? We're talking about laws. In 380 AD, Emperor Theodotus issued the Edict of Thessalonians. This single document legally ended religious freedom in the Roman Empire. It did not just make Christianity legal; it made it compulsory under under penalty of law. Okay, let's go. Look at how the law defines everyone else. If you were a non-Catholic, or if you practiced the traditional ancestral religions of Africa, Egypt, or Europe, the Roman Empire did not recognize your humanity. The edict legally brands you as foolish, madmen, or heretics. And what happens to madmen and heretics under the Christian law? The edict explicitly states that they will face the vengeance of our authority, which we shall impart in accordance with the will of heaven. So they're justifying this. If you're not a Christian, they're legally justifying this, right? In accordance to the will of heaven. This is the birth of institutional forced conversion. This is what we're talking about. The title of the debate was Christianity Forced. This is the birth of institutional forced conversion. The church and the state fused into one machine of terror, right? They use the Roman armies, right? And the church backed them. So let's go. I ain't got too much time for this. But we're talking about this as the primary source. The Edict of Thessalonians is 380 AD. Let's jump into the papal bulls. Now we move from the ancient Roman Empire straight to the genesis of the transatlantic slave trade. My opponent loves to claim that
5 minutes remaining.
Thank you. My opponent loves to claim that the enslavement of African people was a secular economic crime committed by greedy merchants in spite of Christian teachings. History desperately eradicates that lie. Decades before a single slave ship crossed the Atlantic, the supreme head of the Christian world, the Vicar of Christ, Pope Nicholas X, issued a series of binding international decrees known as papal bulls. These documents provided the absolute legal, moral, and theological framework for the global slave trade. In 1452, Pope Nicholas X issued Dmg Vs. Look at the terrifying language on the screen. This is the actual primary or facsimile of it. He gave King Alfonso of Portugal explicit divine authority to invade non-Christian lands, capture their inhabitants, and reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. This is the direct institutional birth of modern chattel slavery, signed with the ring of the fisherman. 3 years later, in 1455, the Pope doubled down with the Roman Pontifice. This document wasn't just about theology; it was an imperial real estate deed. Right. So we're not talking about theology here, DMG. The Pope granted Portugal a total monopoly over the entire coast of West Africa. He declared that everything south of Cape Bajador belonged to the Portuguese crown, explicitly stating that capturing and enslaving Africans was a righteous act because they brought heathens under the spiritual domain of the Christian church. So let's pay close attention to the spiritual blackmail used here. The Vatican legally framed the total destruction of African sovereign nations, the theft of their land, and the branding of their bodies as a holy crusade. They explicitly stated that reducing people to permanent chattel slavery was the necessary prerequisite to their forced conversion. The church did not inherit a slave trade that already existed. The Christian church authorized and engineered it from the throne of the Vatican. And here we see more about. I'm not going to go into it because I know my time is ending. But here we see more about the actual the act itself, the Dmg Vs. Because the slavery was already sanctified in the text, it was easily operationalized as international law by the highest authorities of the Christian church. We jump here to the Roman Pontifice. I think I'm going to save this forced conversion for my next slides to start off with, so I won't get into it. So I yield. I'm pretty sure my time was almost
up. Right, you left 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the table, ladies and
gentlemen. 2 minutes? Oh no! Let me get them 2 minutes. 2 minutes?
Yeah,
no.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get them 2 minutes. My bad. Okay, so forced conversion. Definitions here of the debate. Forced conversion is a compulsory imposition of a religious identity and legal status upon an individual or population through state-sanctified violence. This is what we're talking about here. Was Christianity forced? Right? Forced conversion is a compulsory imposition of a religious identity and legal status upon an individual or population through state sanctioned. It has to be state sanctioned. Violence, imperial decrees, or institutional coercion, completely independent of the subject's intellectual consent, linguistic comprehension, or theological knowledge. He ain't got to know. You don't have to know the doctrine to be you're forcefully conversed. That's the whole point. They don't want you to know. And we're going to find out, we're going to go into more of that later about why they don't want you to know and why the slave master was the one who was the
1 minute remaining.
Was the one orally telling you the Bible, keeping you illiterate, right? For these explicit reasons. Under the definition, forced conversion is a jurisdictional capture. When the Portuguese crown or the Virginia Assembly mandated baptism, they were not initiating a spiritual transformation. They were executing a legal maneuver. The sacrament was a state mechanism used to bring an African body under the penal jurisdiction of Christian courts like the Inquisition and the financial framework of the empire. As the 1621 Inquisition ruling proved, the state legally imputed the identity of Christian onto the slave, making their actual understanding of the doctrine entirely irrelevant. I yield.
And time. Left 30 seconds on the tape. All right, ladies and gentlemen, King Jay has presented his premise. He laid it out on the line. He went back into history, Nicene Creed. You know what I'm saying? The brother came in. He came in prepared. Now it's up to the infamous DMG to attack this premise. So DMG, let me know when you're ready to get it in, brother.
Yeah, give me 1 second, man. Give me 1 second.
Hit that like, share, subscribe, man. Yeah. Paradigm Shift 314. You know, subscribe to the channel, man. We got a whole bunch of debates going on. You know how we do. But hey, brother DMG, King Jay, powerful information. As a matter of fact, DMG has fell off. So I will let everybody know what's going on later on today. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Wait a minute, JJ.
The brother is fighting against the consensus textbooks. He fell off. Hold on. Let me get into the promo.
I knocked him out.
You all right? You
That was a knockout.
He said he knocked him out.
I knocked him out.
Jay knocked him out so easy.
That was a knockout.
DMG has went and called a friend, ladies and gentlemen, according to King Jay.
Wait, he heard that phrase wrong. He said, "Wait, I got technical difficulties."
He didn't went and call a lifeline. Call a buddy. I hope that ain't what's going on, DMG. You better be ready for this type of information. You in here with some of the big dogs and debates.
Let's go.
KJ, turn on your camera and flex on him for a second. We got to get him up here.
Yo, hold on.
Yeah, turn on your camera and flex on him, KJ. He said, KJ, and that's how I do in debate. Somebody fall off. That's right. There you go, KJ. He didn't went home. He didn't went to church.
Knocked him out.
Oh, there you go. All right, here.
Yeah, nah. Listen.
He said he knocked you out. You called a friend.
You had some love taps, man. But unless you knock my internet out, you ain't knock me out. Yeah, you had some love taps. Yeah, I don't know what it is though. Every time I try to share my screen, I start having issues.
Type shit.
Let me see.
Yeah, StreamYard is acting up, ladies and gentlemen. Last couple of days, StreamYard has been acting up, but hopefully everything pan out. Everything y'all loud and clear.
For sure.
Maybe if you turn your camera off or whatever, I don't know. So that's what they tell me. All right, so we got the brother DMG in the building, the CEO of the Paradigm Shift TV. So let me know when you're ready.
So listen,
so we can get it in. You ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead and start my time.
Time starts now.
My brother seems to have an issue as it relates to, understanding what Christianity is and what Christianity ain't. So I'm gonna help him out. That's my little bro, because I think my brother a youngster, man. I'll be 50 in October. So it's my job to educate these youngsters. You feel me? So I'm gonna do that.
All right.
What's Christianity forced on African American slaves?
DMG, at 1:28 your time starts.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I appreciate you. Yep. Was Christianity forced on African American slaves a historical examination by yours truly, the infamous DMG, the real black existentialist? Let's get into it. Here's the central question. According to the scholarly definition of Christianity, was Christianity actually forced on African American slaves? The standard of evaluation. This presentation distinguishes between Christianity as defined by historians and theologians. See, the brother thought I was just coming from a theological standpoint. No, I'm coming from a historical standpoint as well, because what he described wasn't Christianity. But we're going to talk about it. The misuse, I'm going to say it again, the misuse of biblical texts by slaveholders. Historical evidence regarding conversion among enslaved Africans. And you got the citations at the bottom. I want everybody to look at the bottom of each page for the citations so I don't have to keep stopping to read them. But the citations I use are at the bottom of every page. Pause if you have to, but check those out. But again, the misuse of biblical texts by slaveholders. Historical evidence regarding conversion among enslaved Africans. Let's go. What is Christianity? Before evaluating whether Christianity was forced, Christianity must first be defined. Historian Yaroslav Perkelin defines Christianity as the historic faith centered upon Jesus Christ as proclaimed by the apostles and preserved through the canonical scriptures. Theologian Alistair McGrath identifies Christianity by Jesus Christ, his death and resurrection, salvation through Christ, the authority of the Old and New Testament, Christian discipleship. Christianity, therefore, consists of the entire biblical message, not isolated verses or political systems. Because see, my brother talked a lot about political systems. He talked a lot about political systems, but he ain't talked much about Christianity. But let's continue. Key question. If enslaved Africans were denied much of the scripture, were they receiving Christianities as scholars define it, or only selected biblical verses? Again, citations at the bottom. Slaveholders initially opposed Christian conversion. Historical evidence shows that many colonial slaveholders resisted evangelizing enslaved Africans. Many feared baptism would result in emancipation. Christian slaves might challenge slavery. Christians should not enslave fellow Christians. Albert Roboto notes that many enslavers viewed Christian instruction with suspicion because its legal and social implications. Sylvia Frey likewise documents widespread enslaver resistance during the colonial period. Sources at the bottom. The Virginia Law of 1667. The Virginia General Assembly enacted an act declaring that the baptism of slaves does not exempt them from bondage. The law declared that baptism would not change a slave's legal status. This law exists because many slaveholders feared Christian baptism could lead to freedom. If Christianity was forced upon enslaved Africans, such legislation would not have been necessary. Primary historical source, the Virginia State Assembly. Again, it's at the bottom. Let me hide this. All right. Enslaved Africans were denied the full Bible. Throughout American slavery, literacy laws prohibited slaves from reading. Bible ownership was prohibited. Religious instruction often emphasized only obedience passages.
10 minutes remaining.
Sources, again, at the bottom. Appreciate it. Enslaved Africa. Oh, my bad. These passages frequently emphasized Ephesians 6 and 5, Colossians 3 and 22, Titus 2 and 9, and minimized Exodus, Isaiah, Amos, Luke 4, Galatians 3 and 28, and Revelations. Eugene Genovese argues enslaved African-American Christians developed biblical theology distinct from the enslaver. Christianity versus selective biblical instruction. Christianity includes the entire biblical narrative centered upon Jesus Christ. Slaveholders frequently emphasized obedience while minimizing themes of redemption, liberation, justice, and equality. God's deliverance of Israel, Roboto concludes enslaved Africans reconstructed Christianity around biblical deliverance rather than planter theology. Important distinction. Misusing scripture is not equivalent to Christianity itself. Why is my screen not changing? Hold on.
Yeah, it was changed. You need me to stop your time?
Stop my time, yeah.
Yeah, stop your time. Okay. All right. Yeah. You got 5 minutes remaining once you start back up.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, take your time. All right, everybody. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Paradigm Shift 314. All right, let's get it. Yeah, it's 12:20 my time.
You can start it back up. I think I'm back where I was.
Excuse me.
All right.
No, you got 8 more minutes. My bad.
The Second Great Awakening.
You got 8 more minutes.
All right, cool. The Second Great Awakening. Following 1800. Okay. The Second Great Awakening. Following 1800, revival movements spread throughout the South. Missionaries increasingly preached repentance, salvation, resurrection, grace, and the gospel. Nathan Hatch argues that these revivals democratized American Christianity and greatly increased African American participation. Large numbers of enslaved African Americans voluntarily converted during this period. I want to emphasize what I just said. Voluntarily converted during this period. So that means they hadn't converted, forced or otherwise, previous to that. The invisible institution. Enslaved Africans secretly gathered in forests, bush arbors, swamps, and secluded cabins. Despite risking whippings, imprisonment, sale, and death. These meetings included preaching, prayer, scripture, communion, and spiritual songs. Black Christians used the biblical scriptures to empower themselves. Rather than accepting the enslaver theology, enslaved Christians embraced biblical narratives of liberation. Favorite biblical figures included Moses, Daniel, David, Jesus. Spirituals such as Go Down Moses, Still Away, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot expressed hope, resistance, and faith in divine deliverance. Christianity became a source of dignity rather than oppression. Again, sources is at the bottom. And really quick, as it relates to the invisible institution, again, they went out in the forest and hid to have church service. Now, the brother said Christianity was forced on them. Why would they have to hide to do what was mandatory? If you forcing somebody to do something, they ain't got to go hide to do it. They can do it right in front of you. So that lets you know right then and there that our enslaved African-American ancestors knew the distinction from what the enslaver wanted them to do.
5 minutes remaining. And
what the Bible actually instructed them to do. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had the sneak to do it. But anyway, he talked about the papal bulls, manifest destiny, and etc. But let's talk about it in contrast to Christianity. The Dmg verses, 1452, Romanus Pontifex, and understand, I don't speak Latin, so if I'm butchering these words, bear with me. Romanus Pontifex, 1455, Inter Cafetera, 1493, and Manifest Destiny. These were political and legal documents, not teachings of Jesus Christ. I already defined what Christianity is. See, the brother don't know the definition of Christianity, but I'm here to teach him. These were political and legal documents, not teachings of Jesus Christ. That's what Christianity is. I don't know what bro was talking about. These are political and legal documents, not the teachings of Jesus Christ. The New Testament teaches Matthew 23 and 37, love God and neighbor. Matthew 28, 19, make disciples. Acts 10, 34 and 35, God shows no partiality. John 18, 36, Christ's kingdom is not of this world. Galatians 3 and 28, equality in Christ. In 2023, the Vatican formally stated that the doctrine of discovery is not part of the teachings of the Catholic Church. I got sources all down the line. Pause it and look at them and go check them. Check my work. Historical Christianity versus imperialism, colonialism, and racism disguised as Christianity. Let me repeat that. Historical Christianity versus imperialism, colonialism, and racism disguised as Christianity. That's what bro talking about. I'm talking about Christianity. Early Christianity spread primarily through preaching, persuasion, and voluntary conversion, not by military conquest. Many Christian bodies today have repudiated the doctrine of discovery. Historical evidence during Christianity's first 3 centuries, believers spread the faith throughout the Roman Empire despite lacking political or military power. Here's some scriptures for you. Genesis 1:27. Every human being is created in the image of God. Luke 6:27-31. Love your enemies and treat others as you wish to be treated. I don't think that's what the slave owner was teaching our enslaved ancestors. I don't think so. James 2:1-9. Scripture condemns favoritism and partiality.
2 minutes remaining. We got to stop at the 2 minutes. The brother fell off. Hey, it's getting heated up in here, ladies and gentlemen. You hear me? These brothers is bringing it out. First round was very powerful from both of these brothers. King Jay came out swinging, throwing uppercuts and hooks. Hey, DMG come out on the defense. Hey, coming with his attack. This is very powerful. He said, what they got to hide for, ladies and gentlemen? King Jay went back to the Nicene Creed. And, hey, these brothers is battling, man. Y'all take heed to what these brothers is teaching and what they're getting out there, man. Don't just be here for fanfare. Edify yourself. Edify the body. This is what this is all about. At the end of the day, there's no winners and there's no losers. Everybody gonna learn something from each person, and everybody get in where they fit in. That's what these debates is all about. And when you have like-minded people, y'all click together and y'all study the information. All right, the brother's back. You got 2 minutes. You know,
I apologize,
family.
He
said you got
I don't
Netro.
know if it's StreamYard. I don't know if it's StreamYard. Don't start my time yet,
What?
JJ. I don't know if it's StreamYard.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my internet. But y'all bear with a brother. Let me get my joint back up.
Yeah, get it back together, man. Hey, King Jay, tell him instead of getting Netro PCS, he said got Metro PCS. I don't know what's going on with the brothers trying to save $1 or $2. You get what you pay for. You hear me, ladies? Hey, you get what you pay for. Jose Francis, you over there with that Noose Mobile. You better get your Boost Mobile. All right, so infamous DMG is back. He's back.
Oh,
What you say, Boost Mobile? Look, I'm gonna try this again. Let me see what's happening.
We
Let
got
me see
Deuce
what's happening.
All right. All right,
Hold on.
This just delayed a butt whooping that I'm about to put on Jose Vega Francis in the next debate. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? He just buying you some time, Francis. I'm letting you know. You know. But hey, man, I'm enjoying this debate, man. Both of these brothers is bringing some good information. And like I say, man, hey, everybody that's out here watching, please share this to Facebook, your TikTok, and your Instagram. If you can share it to Clubhouse, just play the recording, all of that. That's what we're here for, is to edify the body. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, man, great debate going on. Last night was full of activities, and there's some good debates that's going on in the community. This is what we need to get back to, these great debates, getting the information out there. Everybody stop taking this so personal. You know?
Exactly. All right, let me try this again. Man. I think King Jay done called my internet provider and said, "Hey man, I gotta
right.
You know what I mean? Hey, King Jay, I'm on to you, bro. I'm on to you."
when do you like that?
All right, let me try this again.
Yeah, try it again. You got 2 minutes remaining when you get back.
All right.
You know. But yeah, man. All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. Let me finish. So,
all right, screen is up.
Yep, start my time.
There you go.
During Christianity's first 3 centuries, believers spread the faith throughout the Roman Empire despite lacking political or military power. Remember, the brother was talking about something else. He was acting like Christianity always had this political power. And he keeps talking about Catholicism or the Catholic Church. That Catholic just means universal. See, what he talking about is the Roman Catholic Church, different thing. But that I'm here to teach the brother anyway. Genesis 1:27. Human beings, every human being is created in the image of God. Luke 6:27 through 31. Love your enemies and treat others as you wish to be treated. That ain't what the enslaver did to our African American ancestors. James 2:1 through 9. Scripture condemns favoritism and partiality. All right. Neither the papal bulls, because this is what the brother keep referring to as if it's Christianity when it ain't. Neither the papal bulls nor manifest destiny should be confused with Christianity itself. Both emerge from specific political and imperial contexts. Measured against the teaching of Jesus Christ, they fail on several grounds. They replace love with domination. They justified conquest instead of service. They elevated national or empirical interest above human equality. They sanctioned coercion, where Christ commanded discipleship through proclamation. They contradicted the biblical affirmation that every human bears God's image. That's the first round. I'm done for now.
Time. Oh, man. Time.
Okay.
Hear me, ladies and gentlemen? It
go.
is time for the second round. Both of these brothers did pretty good in the first. You know, hey, we'll give a shout out to everybody that's watching, man. Stay tuned later on.
Are you not entertained?
Turn it up.
Right, King Jay.
Mm-hmm.
This is your day. This is your time, brother. You let me
For
know.
I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
Hold up, don't start it. Don't start his time yet. Don't start his time yet. You know what I mean? Don't start his time yet.
You don't get no more time, DMG. Now, if you ask for
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Let's go. Let's go.
Is this not why you are here?
Right here. Turn them up.
Is this not why you're here? I had to play that right quick. Go ahead. I'm muting out.
Yeah. If I had the buttons to do it, I would do it. I would have did it too. All right. So like I say, ladies and gentlemen, man, this is a powerful debate. We got King Jay on deck again. You know what I'm saying? Second round, about to get it in. Grab your paper, grab your pen. Let the scholars get it in. Bars from Sister Karima. Go ahead.
Let's go. My screen sharing, the chattel slavery.
Well, no, we just see the same one you had earlier. It says it's a sentence. Well, it's one sentence up here. I don't know if you need to go in and come out. But
does it say chattel slavery?
No, sir. It says was Christianity forced upon African slaves.
Are you still y'all been stuck on that slave?
Yeah, it's been stuck on that for you. Yeah. So if you need to
so you're not seeing
somebody.
No, I'm on it right now. It's sliding. Hold on. Oh, you seeing that
okay.
one? Hey, hold on, my bad. Hold on. Let me stop sharing that.
Yeah, through your whole first. Okay, yeah. All right.
That's the one you seeing. Hold on. This is what y'all seeing. Hold on, real quick. You seeing that? Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Take your time, man. We got
I just have to close out real quick. Because that whole time I did not know y'all was just watching that one slide. My bad. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think me and DMG both told you earlier. If you didn't hear us, we apologize. Like I say, we keep things fair over here. Any other platform that I'm associated with.
That table, sir.
Yeah. We got a judge's black man in the building peeking around in the bushes, make sure ain't nobody regurgitate nothing he said. Because he got his pencil, his paper, and indigenous got his pencil and paper writing it down. That's right.
Hey, indigenous black man, I'm taking all your teachings, brother. Everything you done ever said, I'm taking it, bro.
Now he telling you to your face, indigenous.
I'm your student, bro. I'm your student.
And guess what? Yara said that he won't smoke with you, and I'll even be able to hold the phone for you because you're gonna get in the ring. You gotta get in the ring, brother. But yeah, we taking a break. King Jay is getting everything situated.
I'm sharing my screen now. This is what I want. I was presenting wrong. Here we go. Now I'm sharing. Okay, I'm ready for you. Right. Now you seeing different. Now you can. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming up. Okay, yeah, you will see like your
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah. Oh
And
no,
note
no, it
in my
stopped.
note.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Peace and love to you from Denver, Colorado. I'm in the Springs. We got to link up. You know,
All
if
right,
you
turn
want
me
to
up.
do a live debate or something.
All
All
right, I'm
right.
ready. I'm ready.
Are you gonna blow it up?
Uh,
Blow it
I
up a little
can't
bit,
play too much with it.
or can DMG do that? Let me see.
Yeah, I can't play too much with it, but
Okay. All right, you good? Yeah, yeah. All right.
mm,
And
Hey, you
your
want me to make
time
it full
starts
screen?
whenever you say, whenever you start speaking.
maybe I can do whatever I want to. But I'm ready. All right, tell me where to
Yeah,
go,
that's pretty
JJ.
good right there. Let's get. Yep. Whenever you're ready, man, you start speaking. I got you.
All
Let's
right,
go.
chattel slavery. Chattel slavery is a totalizing legal and economic system wherein a human being is classified under the law as personal property. Chattel, that's the definition. Equivalent to livestock or real estate, meaning they can be bought, sold, bartered, taxed, collateralized, bequeathed to heirs in perpetuity, stripping them of all inherent civil, bodily, and human rights. When you marry chattel slavery to the biblical text, you show that the owners weren't inventing a new concept. They were applying Leviticus 25, 44 through 46. Literally, under chattel law, an enslaved person has no legal agency. They cannot choose their clothing, their labor, or their religion. They cannot choose their clothing, their labor, or their religion. Therefore, when the master of the states forces baptism upon them, because that's what the title is, forced conversion, when the master forces baptism upon a piece of chattel property, is no different than branding cattle with the owner's mark. The slave is legally stamped as a Christian to validate the empire's religious identity while remaining a permanent item on a financial ledger. We have traced the laws from the ancient Rome to the steps of the Vatican. Now let's look at the raw. I can just jump from that. Let's go. I don't got much time. So let's go to it. We see here the Elmina Castle, 1483. We have looked at the written laws of the Vatican, and now let's look at the stone and mortar. In 1482, the Portuguese took those papal bulls and materialized them on the coast of Ghana by building the Sa Jorge da Mina, the Elmina Castle. This is the oldest European structure in West Africa, and it was built specifically to process human property. My opponent wants to talk about Christian love and gospel missions. I want to talk about architectural layout. If you look at the physical blueprint, of Yamina Castle, it exposes the absolute undeniable fusion of the Christian worship and the industrial mass human torture. The Portuguese builders built a Catholic chapel directly in the center of the Catholic courtyard. Pay attention to the attention of the spatial relationship of this building. The chapel sits directly on top of subterranean dungeons. While the Catholic priests were upstairs singing high mass, chanting hymns, and thanking the Christian God for their safe voyage, thousands of our ancestors were packed like cattle directly beneath their feet in pitch black, suffocating vaults, standing in their own feces, vomits, and blood. Before those ancestors were marched before the infamous door of no return to be loaded onto the ships, they were dragged into that courtyard under the direct supervision of the church. They were branded with red hot irons carrying the mark of the cross or the Portuguese crown, and they were forced into the water for a mass assembly line baptism. They were processed as heathens and stamped as Christian assets. Elmina Castle proves that the chapel did not just ignore the slave dungeon, the chapel was supported by it. So here we go to a couple of primary sources. We can look at William Bozeman's first-hand account. William Bozeman was a Dutch, a chief factor for the West Dutch Indian Company. Spent 14 years on the Gold Coast, based out of Elmina. His neighboring force, his letters published in 1704. And here's the description. When the slaves came from Wada, and any other, Garfield loves that Wada. When these slaves come to Wada or any other place on the coast, they were put into a booth or prison built for that purpose near the beach. All of them together, and when they were disposed to buy them, they were brought out into a large plain where the surgeons examined every part of them to the smallest member to see if they were sound or good. Right? The invalids were thrown out The remainder were forced to be branded on the beast with the red hot iron, marking them with the arms of the name of the company. This done, the slaves are returned to their prison where they are kept at the company's charge, relocking them up under the ground in their dungeons where they remain until the ships were ready to receive them. That's the primary source. This is the baptism mandate before shipment. Jean Barbat, a French commercial agent who made voyages to the West Africa, he's a priest. The Portuguese priests and the castles made it their business to baptize the slaves before they were shipped off to Brazil to make them Christians. Though they knew nothing of the language or the religion they were being initiated to, the priests received a piece of Christian piece of 8 currency for every slave so baptized, which made it very diligent in a office looking at it as a very holy work. So the summary of the Elmina pipeline, the capture of the descent captives of the interior were marched to Elmina, forced down the subterranean cells directly beneath the chapel. They were brought into the courtyard, inspected, stripped naked of identities, and branded with Syrian irons. To satisfy the papal mandates rooted in the Romanus Pontifex, they were subjected to a rapid force baptism, often right in the middle of the courtyard. They were funneled back through the dark corridors to the door and returned, exiting through the castle and directly where the ships were manning. And here we see here's a primary source of the forced baptisms. These are literally the priests baptizing those African slaves in West Africa, I believe, off the Angola coast. These may be weighted about, I believe this is actually Angola. And we see that some of the soldiers in the back forcing them to. So this is a literal forced conversion, right? And this forced conversion happens before these slaves even get to America, wherever they're going. So the forced conversions happens before they even get to where they're going, right? In West Africa, they're conquered and then they're baptized and they're Christians, right? So my opponent continues to retreat into abstract theology, claiming that the church wanted genuine spiritual converts. Let us look at the literal ground level of the trade in Angola, where the Portuguese operated as a massive assembly and line system of forced baptism. Look at the map and historical records of Maxima at the ports of Luanda. Before our ancestors were packed into the ships like the San Juan Bautista, they were marched through
9 minutes remaining.
Okay. They were marched through a brutal, formalized processing center. They were not given Bibles. They were not taught anything. They were processed like cattle. So let's jump through. So here we go. I don't got much time. I want to get this out. So I'm going to jump past the 1619 Jamestown 30. I want to get this primary source. So this primary source here is Cartagena Inquisition. This is 1621. So my opponent is desperate to define Christianity as an eternal choice of the heart, but the supreme legal and theological authorities of historical Christianity laughed at the idea. They established a mechanism of pure mechanical, purely forced conversion. I point you to the actual Inquisition archives from Cartagena in 1621. An enslaved African man named Juan was arrested for practicing his ancestral spirituality. Like my opponent, Juan argued that he couldn't be a heretic because he wasn't really a Christian. He testified that he was kidnapped, dragged onto a slave ship, and had water thrown on his head. He told the inquisitors, I did not know what they meant by their words. I did not understand the laws and the language, and I did not even know what the water poured on my head meant. And what did the Christian court rule? They ruled that his complete ignorance was totally irrelevant. They ruled that once the physical ritual touched his body, a legal stamp was placed on his soul, making him a subject of the Christian authority forever. My opponent claims you need to know the doctrine to be a Christian, but the inquisitors, the very guardians of the doctrine, ruled that the forced ritual overrode the mind. They treating Christianity exactly as an imperial penal law, and they tortured and prosecuted Juan as a Christian anyway. So that's going to be a question to my brother, and so you might want to write it down, because the brother had the same exact argument that the brother Dmg is arguing. If knowledge of doctrine is required, why did they torture and persecute this Juan fella in 1621 for the same exact reason? It's like running a stop sign, right? And when you go to court, telling the judge you didn't know the law, you didn't know that you couldn't run a stop line, he's still gonna give your ass a ticket. This is history, absolute. Christianity wasn't chosen by the African slave; It was legally stamped upon them, and that is the conversation. And that is the title of the day. The debate was Christianity forced upon the African slave, and I'm showing you primary source after primary source. So the record here in English translation, it says this. He said in his defense that he was not, nor had he never been a Christian, alleging that when they put him on the ship in Guiana, they through the water, they baptized him without him understanding the language or the laws or knowing that what the ceremony meant. What did the court say?
5 minutes remaining.
The court ruled that because the material water and the Latin formula had physically occurred, that he was legally a Catholic Christian, subject to the penal jurisdiction, making his internal mind or lack of consent entirely irrelevant. Remember, DMG, these are chattels, they slaves. They don't have no consent. He was subsequently sentenced to public shaming and penitentiary punishment as a heretical Christian. So I'm gonna ask you another question coming up too, that if they don't think they're Christians, why are they making it the laws in 1666 and 1662 and 1667, right? Saying that you can still be baptized and still be a slave. If they self didn't think they was Christians. Think about that. Let's go. We're gonna talk about 1662 here, the Virginia Act itself, where it says, some doubts have, this is the actual primary facsimile from the Virginia Grant. I can't spend too much time on this. She already went over it as well. But this is the biblical scripture that correlates. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve for 6 years. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughter, the woman and their children shall belong to their master, and only the man shall go free. But if the servant plainly says, I love my master and my wife, and the children do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judges. He should take him to the door of the doorpost and bear his ear through with an awl. Then he should be his servant for life. Property rule follows the mother in Exodus 21. The law states that because the master owns the mother, the woman and her children shall belong to her master. That's the Bible. In the Virginia Act of 1662, the Christian lawmakers codified the exact same rule. The child is bond or free only according to the condition of the mother. Christian enslavement in Christian, your opponent wants to, that Christianity doesn't allow the timeline of enslavement of another human being, but Exodus 21 explicitly lays out the legal framework for how a master can hold a person for life within the religious covenant community. So he's trying to, don't let the brother talk about what his theology of love is, but we're talking about what the actual biblical text says and how it's actually codified it into law. So let's jump around because this is my last two. So I want to go out. I need to close. I'm gonna close with the 1740 Negro Act. My opponent claims that African slaves voluntarily abandoned their traditional African religions out of sincere intellectual preference for Christianity. Let us shatter that illusion with the penal codes of the South. Look at Section 36 of the South Carolina Negro Act of 1740. Following the Stoner Rebellion, the Christian colonial legislature did not pass laws engaging theological debates with African traditional practitioners. Instead, they weaponized it for the physical law. They explicitly criminalized the possession or use of drums, horns, or other loud instruments. Why does this matter? Because in West African cosmology, the drum is not a casual musical toy. It is a sacred, literal heartbeat of the religion. It is a tool used to communicate, to channel the ancestors, and to perform the sacred spiritual rites. By legally outlawing the drum under heavy financial penalties and corporal punishment, the state performed a physical, systematic liquidation of African spirituality. When you combine the 1740 ban of African drums with the 1740 mandate ordering masters to provide oral Christian instruction, the trap becomes visible.
2 minutes.
You violently strip a population of their sacred instruments of their ancestral faith. You make practicing their old traditions an act of criminal subversion, and you leave them with no other legal outlet to gather or express their humanity except to sit in a white man's church balcony and to look at a white man's book. That is not an intellectual conversion.
1 minute remaining.
It is a legal and psychological siege that forced a captive population into a Christian math just to survive. And we see here the actual primary text. We'll jump here to the end. We have the Master's Manual of Charles Colcock Jones in 1842, where he gives the instruction to the slave masters of how Christianity would be a good tool to forced submission on the plantations. So I'll yield with that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the bottom of the second round. Brother DMG's coming back with his information. King Jay, they came out swinging harder in this round, man. DMG, you got some things that you need to deal with. Let's go. Let me know when you're ready.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can I be heard?
Yeah. Let me know when
All
you're
right,
ready.
start my time.
All right, let's get it. 12:52.
I'm ready.
2-minute mark on my clock. Let's get it.
All right. So, like I said, I'm a rehash something from the last round. Again, the brother keep talking about these political stances. He ain't showed me a scripture yet. Again, neither the papal bulls nor manifest destiny should be confused with Christianity itself. Both emerge from specific political and imperial contexts, measured against the teaching of Jesus Christ. Again, that's what Christianity is, the teaching of Jesus Christ. They fail on several grounds. They replaced love with domination. They justified conquest instead of service. They elevated national or imperial interest above human equality. They sanctioned coercion, where Christ commanded discipleship through proclamation. They contradicted the biblical affirmation that every human bears God's image. Let's talk about it. Love your neighbor as yourself. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Matthew 22:39. What's the context? Jesus identifies this as the second greatest commandment. Alongside loving God, chattel slavery treated human beings as property rather than neighbors deserving equal dignity, making such treatment incapable with this command. Number 2, the golden rule. Whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. Matthew 7:12. What's the context? This is one of Jesus' clearest ethical principles. No slaveholder would willingly choose to be kidnapped, sold, beaten, or permanently enslaved. Applying the golden rule undermines the moral justification for chattel slavery. Human equality before God. You are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. That's Matthew 23:8. What's the context? Jesus teaches that his followers are fundamentally equals under God. Chattel slavery depended upon permanently dividing humanity into masters and property, often based on race. Come on, man, this ain't Christianity that this brother talking about. Number 4, freedom for the oppressed. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives, to set at liberty those who are oppressed. That's Luke 4:18 through 19. The context, quoting Isaiah, Jesus announces his mission as one of liberation and restoration. While this passage includes spiritual liberation, it also echoes God's concern for those living under oppression. Number 5, greatness means serving others. Whosoever would be great among you must be your servant. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve. Mark 10:14 through 45. Context, Jesus reverses worldly power structures. Rather than commanding others for personal gain, leaders are to serve sacrificially. This ethic is fundamentally opposite to chattel slavery, where masters exercise coercive ownership over others. Context of slaves, obey your master. The brother liked to talk about that particular Let's get into it. What's the context of slave obey your master? The verses most often cited are Ephesians 6:5-9, Colossians 3:22 and 4:1, 1 Peter 2:18-25. These passages were written by Paul the Apostle, and in 1 Peter traditionally attributed to Peter the Apostle, not by Jesus himself. That's number one. But what's the historical context? The Roman Empire already had millions of enslaved people. Christians were a small, often persecuted minority with no political authority to abolish slavery. The apostles therefore instructed believers on how to live faithfully within existing social institutions rather than calling for immediate political revolution. The instruction, slaves obey your master, addresses people who were already enslaved. It does not command Christians to enslave others or endorse the creation of a slave system. Just as importantly, the same passages place serious obligations on masters. But you ain't gonna hear the brother talk about this. But let's talk about what it says masters should do to their slaves. Let's talk about how it say masters should treat their slaves, because you ain't gonna hear this from the brother. Ephesians 6:9, Paul also tells masters, treat your slaves justly and fairly, knowing that you also have a master in heaven. I just gotta ask y'all in the audience, do you think the enslaver treated our ancestors justly and fairly? Because that's what the Bible say. That's what Christianity say do. Colossians 4:1, these commands undermine the absolute authority masters claimed over slaves by placing both master and slave under the same Lord. Let me give it to you one more time, just in case you missed it. Just in case you way in the back and didn't hear me. Masters, treat your slaves justly and fairly, knowing that you also have a master in heaven. See, I hear a lot of people who say Christianity was forced on our ancestors, quote, slaves obey your master. But I don't never hear them quote this. Masters, treat your slaves justly and fairly, knowing that you also have a master in heaven. So even under the constructs of slavery, which was wrong, you ain't supposed to do to them what they did to our ancestors. Why this does not fit American chattel slavery, the system of American chattel slavery differed significantly from the slavery addressed in the New Testament because it was categorized by race-based hierarchical lifelong slavery, legal treatment of people as property, kidnapping and trafficking of free people, family separation, denial of literacy and religious freedom, severe corporal punishment, and dehumanization. It wouldn't Historical conclusion. The historical evidence demonstrates slaveholders often resisted evangelizing enslaved Africans. They ain't want them to be Christian. The Virginia Act of 1667 reveals planters feared surrounding baptism. Fears, I should say, surrounding baptism. Enslaved people were frequently denied literacy and complete biblical canon. The Second Great Awakening produced widespread voluntary conversions. Secret worship in the invisible institution reflects sincere religious commitment, because it wasn't happening before that. African Americans transformed Christianity into the theological foundation for the Black church, abolitionism, and later the civil rights movement. Conclusion. While slaveholders often manipulated biblical passages to justify slavery, the historical evidence does not support the claim that Christianity itself, as historically defined by the person of Jesus Christ, the complete biblical canon, and the core doctrines of the Christian faith, was simply forced upon African American slaves. See, the brother brought up that they wouldn't taught nothing. He said that out his mouth. Go back and rewind it. He literally said they wouldn't taught nothing. So if you don't teach a person something that got to do with this doctrine you're supposed to be forcing on them, how could they in any form or fashion actually be that thing? You could tell somebody they something all day long, but if you don't actually teach them that thing, how to be that thing, then they can't be that thing. He said that the brother that got kidnapped and was arrested for practicing his indigenous faith, and he like, hey man, I don't know what you're talking about. I never became a Christian. And they beat him and tortured him, and they said it don't matter that you never converted. Again, that ain't Christianity, because Christianity can't be forced. And anything other than that ain't Christianity. It don't qualify. See, the brother want to frame Christianity as something it ain't. He want to frame imperialism, colonialism, racism, and nation as Christianity. That ain't Christianity, player. Christianity provides you with a choice. By his own admission, our ancestors didn't have one.
5 minutes remaining.
The historical evidence demonstrates that enslavers misused and distorted scripture. But the misuse and distortion of Christianity is not Christianity itself. Enslaved African Americans were not handed the historical Christian faith. They had to obtain it for themselves and ultimately make it their own through the full biblical text and witness. History supports that distinction, as did those very enslaved African Americans. See, if you read the slave narratives, they tell you that they drew a line of demarcation. See, King Jay can stand over there with a retrospective view all he want to, but the people who actually went through this thing tell you they drew a line of demarcation between what the enslaver was doing and what they discovered for themselves. But we supposed to believe King Jay. What I have said respecting and against religion, I mean strictly to apply the slave-holding religion of this land, and with no possible reference to Christianity proper. For between the Christianity of this land and the Christianity of Christ, I recognize the widest possible difference. So wide that I receive the one as good, pure, and holy, is of necessity to reject the other as bad, corrupt, and wicked. To be the friend of one is to be necessity to be the enemy of the other. I love the pure, peaceable, and impartial Christianity of Christ. I therefore hate the corrupt, slave-holding, woman-whipping, cradle-plundering, partial, and hypocritical Christianity of this land. Indeed, I can see no reason but the most deceitful one for calling this land Christianity. That's from Frederick Douglass, who, guess what, was a slave himself. King Jay wasn't a slave. King Jay can't tell you what our enslaved African-American ancestors went through, but Frederick Douglass can, and he drew a line of demarcation. He broke it down. King Jay can talk all he wants to in 2026. Frederick Douglass told you what it is. I'm done.
Time. Ooh, woo. Boy, that last round from both of you guys was, hey, y'all put the intensity on the debate. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, I see you now as my wife. Yeah. Hey man, if y'all don't appreciate good information, man. I mean, this is good information from both of these guys. And I like the fire and the energy, you know, that came from both of them in that last round, man. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see no goddamn reading like, yeah, hey guys. We don't want to see that. This is entertainment.
And listen, before we get out of here, I'm gonna put up all my works cited so y'all can see that and look it up to know I ain't up here BSing and playing around and making stuff up. I'm gonna put that up so everybody can see it and you can go look it up and understand.
Yeah, you supposed to say that in
hey, my name is my name.
All right, you supposed to say that in your allotted time now. I gotta be fair. Now, King Jay, you want to say something?
It ain't nobody else's turn. We already went.
No. Come on, man. I want to be
what
fair.
You talking about?
King Jay, you want to say some little extras? Go ahead. And then we gonna get into the question and answer. I don't know nobody saying JJ wasn't fair. God dang on. You hear me? All right. But go ahead. Go ahead, King Jay. Do you want to say something before we get into the question round? We got 3 questions apiece from these warriors. You know what I'm saying? These scholarly warriors. Hey, man, they getting it in. Shout out to the Den. Shout out to DMG. Shout out to the Paradigm Shift 314. Worldview Wars Debate League. We getting it in. King Jay, you want to say something before we... We're like, look, 30 seconds. I think
he might be shell shocked, Jay. He might be shell shocked.
You got him hiding in the matrix. Uh-oh. All right, well, King Jay, I guess I don't know what you're doing over there, man. I gave you the opportunity.
Oh man, he's shell shocked, bro. He's shell shocked. He can't even hit the unmute button. He gone, bro.
That's what he did to you when you fell off. So hey,
second round. No, I wouldn't. I came back in. My internet dropped.
I know, but he was doing the same thing. That's a debate.
Yeah. He right here. He right here and can't respond. I got dropped off on the internet. He right here and can't respond.
No. Actually, something got to be going on. King Jay, you there?
I bet. No, I'm here.
Okay.
Whole time. I thought I was.
All right. Hey.
Yeah,
look.
He said he put you on life support for a second. I don't know what's going on.
Look, he's so confused. He's so confused. He thought he was unmuted.
All right, man. Hey, it's all fun.
All right,
all fun.
Go ahead, King Jay. I'm just messing with you, bro. I'm just messing with you.
He did the same thing to you.
Hey, indigenous black man. Yeah, that's cool with me, bro. Gone. Hey, JJ, give indigenous black man my number.
Okay. I'm gonna call you on the payphone.
Oh yeah, here we go. My bad. Yeah, I have my.
I'm messing with you. Me and the
whole time I thought I'm talking.
Me and indigenous yesterday. What up, KJ? Me and indigenous. We had an olive branch, so we're gonna get back teaming up. All right, King Jay, we're gonna start with you. You got 5 questions or 3 questions, my brother. How long do you get to? I think we're gonna give you at least 2 minutes to answer it or something like that. But yeah. So King Jay, the first question is on you. Unless you want him to go first, since you went first. How y'all want to do it?
You got 3 questions. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up my questions.
Okay.
Real quick.
Everybody hit that like, share, and subscribe, man. We got some more powerful debates coming up. Stay tuned later on today, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. The goddamn on Paradigm Shift 314 champ will be defending his belt. Did the ancient Kemetics practice retainer sacrifices? You in some trouble, Jose Vega. Francis. You in some trouble, sir. You in some trouble. You better have everything, your I's dotted and T's crossed, everything. I'm not here to play with you. Like these brothers. They ain't playing with each other. You better be ready to battle, sir. All right, go ahead.
So my first question is this. So question 1, right? In regards to the biblical law, Exodus and Leviticus, right? So when Leviticus 25:44-46 explicitly commands that you can buy human beings from the nations around you, pass them down to your children as inherited property, and keep them as slaves for life, right? And when Exodus 21:4 legally decrees that if a master gives a slave a wife and the mother and her children belong permanently to the master for life, my question to you, DMG, is this. Was the American chattel slave system of 1662 and 1667, were they violating biblical law, or were they actually enforcing it?
Well, I would say one, that's a law specifically for the Israelites. That ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. So how another people could superimpose laws specifically for the Israelites over what they doing, I don't know how you could justify that, number one. Number two, what the Bible is describing and what was done to our ancestors still don't justify what was done to our ancestors. So to me, it's a moot point because that was for the Israelites. So it's they don't have anything to do with each other.
The text, the Leviticus text and Exodus text in the biblical canon today don't have anything to do with. They weren't using that law, that text. What do you mean it don't have anything to do with it?
Who was using that text?
Your second question?
Oh no, okay.
Hold on, real quick.
So no follow up.
Is that part of this is your second question?
No,
okay, go ahead.
No. All right. Second question is this. In the 1621 Inquisition records of Cartagena, the enslaved African man Juan argued that he could not have sinned against the church because he did not know the language of the Christians. He did not know the laws. He did not know the law. He did not know what the baptism meant. The Christian court formally rejected his defense, ruling that his absolute ignorance of the faith was entirely irrelevant because the physical ritual of baptism had legally bound his body to the jurisdiction of the church. Who understood the operational reality of historical Christianity better? The Inquisitioners who actually tortured Juan, right, and held him subject to the church, or you, DMG?
Say that one more time.
So when Juan, the Inquisition of 1621, when the brother Juan gave the same argument that you're making today in regards to doctrinal knowledge and in regards to him being ignorant of it, right? He didn't know anything about what the baptism meant. He didn't know anything about the Christianity. So they found him, they said that it didn't matter, right? They still said that he was legally a Christian, right? Because he had been baptized, right? So my question to you is this: who knew better, them or you?
Me. I'm saying this.
Okay.
The people who, and this is my answer. The people who were doing the torture and doing the Inquisition, I'm saying they weren't Christians. Because if you torturing people, if a man telling you he never converted to Christianity, how can you tell him otherwise? See, and this is why I say you proved my point.
You want me to tell you why?
You can't. No. Hear me out. I said what Christianity was, and when we get to my questions, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. You can't tell somebody they something they not, and then torture them for not being that. That's not Christianity, bro.
They did.
But you would have to show me how that's Christianity, though.
Are you giving us your interpretation of what Christianity should be?
No, I read the definition.
Okay, well, they passed the law.
Question number 4. Now I'm counting.
Let's do this. Wait, hold on. Let's go. It's my last one.
This is last question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, is it okay? This is last question. Go ahead, Brother King Jay.
So, and this is in regards to voluntary, and this is in regards to faith versus property law, what we just building upon. So, if a voluntary faith requires intellectual assent, right, theological understanding, and a conscious choice of the mind, but an imperial force conversion, which is what we're talking about, right, was Christianity forcefully upon African slaves, right, forced conversion. But an imperial force conversion utilizes assembly line baptism at the slave ports, imperial edicts like the Thessalonian law that strips away civil rights, colonial statutes like the Virginia Act of 1667 that ensures your baptism never alters your physical change, right? Does forced conversion operate as a spiritual path to transformation to transform the soul, or does it operate strictly as an imperial property law used to govern and subjugate the body?
The latter.
Huh?
The latter.
As imperial property law used to govern and subjugate the body, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so,
but that's not Christianity, though.
But is that the debate topic? What Christianity is? So the debate topic is was it forced? Right? Forced conversion.
Was Christianity forced?
Yes.
Not anything outside of that.
Mm-hmm. And this is Christianity.
So you ready? You ready for my questions?
I'm ready.
All right, my first question is this, and it's twofold.
All right, let's get into your question, DMG. Go ahead.
It's twofold. Can you cite a single teaching of Jesus Christ in the Gospels where he commands his followers to convert people by force, violence, coercion, or enslavement? If not, on what basis do you define Christianity by the actions of slaveholders rather than by the teachings of its founder?
I think you started with a false premise in thinking that Christianity was the teachings of Jesus Christ. Jesus did not create. Jesus didn't come to destroy the law. He came to fulfill it. So he didn't create a new law. He just fulfilled the law that was already established. Okay, so that's for one. So that's for one. So
okay. So that's your answer. Christianity is not your answer. Just for the record, your answer is that Christianity is not based on the teachings of Jesus Christ.
I wasn't done answering, and that's not what I said. I said that the teachings of Jesus Christ are not new teachings. That's what I said. You're making the assumption.
Let me go back and let me ask that one more time.
You asked a twofold question. I was going to give you.
Can you cite a single teaching of Jesus? Listen to the question, JJ. Can you cite a single teaching of Jesus Christ in the Gospels where he commands his followers to convert people by force, violence, coercion, or enslavement? So that's the first part. So you can answer that, and then if not, on what basis do you define Christianity by the actions of slaveholders rather than by the teachings of its founder? So if the first part is a no, then go into the second part.
So and I'll answer the same way. I'll begin my answer the same way that I started the first time. Jesus' teachings are not his own, are some new teachings that he created on his own. Jesus came to fulfill the law that was already established. He didn't create a new doctrine. The doctrine was already established. So these. What
was your answer to the first part?
Keep cutting me, brother. Let me finish. I'm
asking.
Wait. You cutting me in my answer. Do I got a time limit to answer?
No. Take your time. I just want to know the answer to the first part. That's all.
Let me answer it, brother, fully, and then you can say if I answered it or not. You cutting me right every time I answer.
Go ahead.
So the brothers assuming
that's fair.
The brother is starting with the faulty premise. The brother is starting with the faulty premise, assuming that the teachings of Jesus Christ are new teachings, right? Instead of teachings that are already established. That's why I gave him Leviticus 25, right? So these are Jesus quotes these texts, right? So he doesn't create his new doctrine, right? That's for one. So that's why I'm answering it the way that I'm answering it. When we talk about the doctrine, I gave you the Nicene Creed, right? And I gave you Antiquities 110 AD, where they're forming the doctrine in the canon, and they're giving you the tenets of what it is, right? Hold on for 1 second. So, all right. That's my answer. That's my answer.
I hope y'all enjoying this debate, man. This is going at it. Go ahead.
All right, so I just want to state for the record.
Reiterate your answer one more.
The brother didn't answer the question. I asked,
let him reiterate the answer one more time.
I'm moving to the second question. I just want to state the brother didn't answer the question. I said, can you cite
go ahead.
a single teaching of Jesus Christ in the Gospels where he commands his followers to convert people by force, violence, coercion, or enslavement? If not, on what basis do you define Christianity by the actions of slaveholders rather than by the teaching of his founders? He didn't answer none of that.
Hold on.
He gave an interesting answer, but it didn't have nothing to do with what I asked.
My Wi-Fi, I had moved my Wi-Fi for a second. I just wanted to give a look, finish the answer. So that was the answer. So if you wanted me to give examples, I would give examples like this.
Go ahead.
I would say that Jesus enforced whatever law that was in power. Right, he said, "Pay to the tax of Caesar's what's his, give to him what's his." Paul, in an example, when the slave came to Paul, right, Paul sent the slave back and said to obey your masters. So I would say that they would enforce whatever law of the land was enforced. When they came to Jesus and asked him questions, he told them to obey the Pharisees. So I wouldn't say that Jesus would suggest go against the law.
Okay, so again,
wait.
Shout out to my brother. Shout out to. I got to get to my second because because in about an hour we got another debate. So I'm gonna go to the next joint. Just for the record though.
But let me answer the 2-point question. Wait, let me answer. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, DMG, let him answer the twofold. DMG.
Go ahead.
Don't start crashing out now.
So when we asking about what is Christianity, and that's what the brother is really asking in the question. So certain sacraments, right? I would say that the seven sacraments would be definitely a part of Christianity, right? Communion, confession, things of that nature. I would say that Mass, bread and wine, those things, sacred tradition. I would say Scripture. Those scriptures would be included, and what we would be included as traditions of church. And these Catholic churches, when we look at the Nicene Creed, are the ones that established this. They tell you, so the word Catholic and Christian are synonymous. So when you're saying Catholic, you're saying Christian. So I don't want the brother to trick y'all to think that when I'm saying Catholic, that I'm not saying Christian. So that's the answer to that.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna move on to the second question because I don't know what that had to do with what I asked, but let's go. All right. If Christianity was truly forced upon our ancestors, how do you explain the rise of the invisible institution where enslaved Africans secretly worshipped apart from their masters, rejected the slaveholders' interpretations, and embraced the biblical message of liberation? Doesn't that demonstrate they exercised independent faith rather than merely accepting forced religion? Let me know if you need me to repeat it.
No, I don't. And I actually think that proves my point on several levels, right? The fact that I would say that they didn't accept it, right? They rejected it and used it for their own liberation, right? Nat Turner would be a perfect example of that example, right? He took the slave owner's religion, right, and used it for his own liberations, right? I think that would be a perfect example to answer that question. When we talk about them using spiritual codes, right, like the Negro spirituals, right, they took that and used it to sing songs and make maps for the Underground Railroad, right? They didn't believe it, so to speak, as far as that. They used it for their liberation, right? So when we talk about the conversion, the forced conversion, even them, you're suggesting that you can't willingly accept the slave master's religion. It's already been forced upon you. So you're thinking because they're going to Christianity that they're using that because they want to believe it. No, it's the only thing they got to choose from, brother. Their religion and identity have been from in West Africa. Long before they got to the shores of America, their identity was stripped from them. Their religion. So to your understanding, you're making the argument that Christianity was their original religion, which it wasn't. Christianity was
I'm gonna go to my third question. Would you agree that Christianity, by scholarly definition, is the religion based on the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ? If so, how can Christianity itself be guilty of something that Jesus never taught, especially when his teachings include loving your neighbor, treating others as you wish to be treated, and proclaiming liberty to the oppressed?
I think that in my presentation, I've shown that this chattel slavery is woven into the text, right? It's not anything that Jesus made up or created by itself or of his own doctrine. This is doctrine that is already established in the text. I gave you Leviticus, I gave you Exodus in regards to chattel slavery, in regards to property laws, right? And other Hebrews being able to enslave other Hebrews. Not being able to enslave other outside of other nations, right? So I gave you that example as a primary example of how slavery is already embedded within their text.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, family, listen. Shout out to the brother King Jay for a powerful debate. This is his first debate on Paradigm Shift. I think the brother did excellent. We're going to throw a poll up during the closing. Y'all go in and vote. We also going to put it on the community page so y'all can go over there and vote for those who don't get to see it live. Let the brother know, let me know how y'all think we did. Let us know who y'all think took this thing. But shout out to the brother for taking the debate. Shout out to him for a powerful performance. We're going to get ready to close this thing out. Oh, wait a minute. My bad. We're going to let some people come up.
Now we 2 or 3 people. We got to close first. We ain't done with the debate yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. After we close, we're going to let some people come up or we're going to get out of here.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's on you.
Yeah, we got to do our closing. It's a 5-minute closing piece, right? You all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's on you.
All right. And then don't forget to put the link in the chat for the next debate that we got going.
I got you.
Yeah. All right. So
let me know if you're sharing your screen, King Jay.
You want to start off with your close, or you?
I think DMJ.
You want him to go first? How y'all want to do it?
Yeah, I think DMG should close. Yeah.
So all right, I'll close.
Okay. Go ahead, DMG.
Yeah, I close out. Let me share my screen right quick, if I can. Let's see. All right, JJ, you can start my time.
All right, time starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, throughout this debate, I've asked one simple question. Was Christianity itself forced upon African-American slaves? Not whether slaveholders committed evil, not whether churches were hypocritical, not whether religion was abused as a tool of oppression. History answers all of those questions with a resounding yes. The real question is whether Christianity, according to its accepted scholarly definition and the teachings of its founder, Jesus Christ, was forced upon our ancestors. Words matter. Definitions matter. Christianity is not defined by the behavior of every person who claims the name of Christian. Christianity is defined by the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. If we abandon that definition, then every worldview must be judged by its worst followers instead of its actual beliefs. That is neither intellectually honest nor historically sound. My opponent has attempted to equate the crimes of slaveholders with Christianity itself. Those are not the same thing. My opponent may point to passages where Paul instructs slaves to obey their masters, but context matters. Those letters were written to Christians already living under the Roman Empire, a society in which slavery already existed. They were pastoral instructions for believers navigating an existing institution, not commands to create one, expand one, or kidnap free people into one. The same passages also command masters to stop threatening their slaves to act justly and remember that they too have a master in heaven.
3 minutes.
That undermines the absolute authority claimed by slaveholders. But you ain't gonna hear King Jay talk about that. Christianity is not defined by the behavior of every person who claims. My bad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. As King Jay would say, he must have got knocked out again because he didn't have enough energy left to finish his closing, according to King Jay. So we go see if he come back with a lifeline or something. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a knockout drag out.
That's crazy.
Both guys were getting knocked out, calling friends and all type of mess.
Yeah, closing matter,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Definitely want to give a good closing, man. Definitely want to give a nice closing.
Hey, let me say something real quick. Yeah, hey, King Jay, hey, you know, you coming along, bro. From the first debate you did with Marcus, you know, I hosted that. You remember that, right?
And that's crazy. Open.
Yep. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I see how you have gotten better over, you know, the last 7 to 8 months. So you gotta keep it up, bro.
Steady growing. Continue to grow.
You're gonna be a force here. I mean, you know, you're already a force, but a lot of guys are forces, but they don't speak. It's different. So DMG is out calling a friend, ladies and gentlemen.
Calling a friend.
You know. But, let me ask you this, since we got a little downtime.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. He had 2 minutes left.
Okay.
He had 2 minutes left. 3. It was 3 minutes left, I think. It was close.
Okay.
Okay. Let me give a shout out to everybody out here. Old account, Victor Emerson World. This is from JJ7K TV. Then I give a shout out to the people that's over here. We got Stepping Into the Light. Peace, sister. I guess I can see everybody. Indigenous Black Man. We got Nathaniel Hughes in the building. Vincent Mueller, you be on something. I don't know what you. Victor Emerson World. You know, Gideon in the building. I think he got a debate coming up in the next couple of days. But Josh Hughes, this is for the Worldview Debate League Championship. These brothers are gonna be getting in. You know, whoever wins with that one will be the next World's Debate Champion. You know, so hey, y'all got to look forward to that one. You know, Hemi's been doing debate the other day. You know, we got a good lineup, but hey, today it's gonna be a powerful debate, full of information. At least coming from my side. I don't know about this other brother. Hopefully, he can bring some information to go against a dead argument, ladies and gentlemen. This is a dead argument in academia.
Oh yeah.
Nobody argues this anymore. They don't argue it happened. They argue, why did it stop?
That's the better.
Go ahead, King Jay. You can go ahead and talk a little bit, man.
Yeah, that would be a better. That would have been better argument as far as his frame. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, yeah. That would have been a better argument as far as like instead of saying, did it ever happen? You know what I'm saying? We know that it happened at least in the first dynasty, first kingdom. So I mean, that's easy. I mean, so, yeah. So back to this though.
He signed up for this. We know it happened.
Yeah, back to this. So yeah. So if can you share my screen?
No, I don't. Yeah, no. I can't.
Oh yeah,
share.
wait. I can't share. Okay.
I don't know if DMG want to call in from the phone and finish his last 3 minutes. Maybe I can call that. Then you could finish yours. Let me call.
Yeah, he can do his closing.
That wouldn't be fair.
He can
start over with his closing. You want to do yours?
I mean, he can close off from the phone.
Okay, well, you go ahead and do.
No, we're gonna wait.
Let me call this guy. We're gonna wait. All right.
We'll wait.
So let me ask you this, man. Did you see the Netter debate the other day? What is your thoughts on that?
I didn't. I saw the after show and I fell asleep on it. But
hey, where did I get cut off? Where did I get cut off?
You got 3 minutes remaining, man.
3
We don't.
minutes.
Is it okay,
Y'all
King Jay,
ain't
to
heard the
start
last
over?
3 minutes.
Let's start it over. No, you got 3 minutes remaining. He fell off at 2. We did hear 2 minutes of the closing.
But he's been
Am I
talking
right,
the whole
KJ?
time, JJ. We just ain't know he was talking.
Yeah, I'm reading the whole time.
Okay, let's go ahead.
All right, so hold on. You say I had
Yeah.
3 minutes or 2 minutes left?
Yeah, 3 minutes. He said he wouldn't call Jabari or somebody. I don't know what that's all about. Go ahead.
What the hell? All right, hold on. Let me go back. I don't even know
Shout
where
out
I
to
left
Jabari.
off, man. That's crazy. Hey, I told you, man, King Jay sabotaged me, man. King Jay called an internet company and said, hey, I need some help with DMG. All right, well, do y'all remember the last thing y'all heard?
No,
I
so what I'm
heard
gonna
you
do, King
I heard
Jay,
you
is it
say-
all right if he start over with his 5? Is it all right? And I'll give you an extra minute.
If you want to.
All right, go ahead. Start over. Go ahead.
All right. Hold up. All right, yeah. Let me do that. Let me turn my camera off and see if that helped the signal. I don't know what's going on with that.
You must be getting your signal from East St. Louis somewhere. Goddamn it. I don't know. East Boogie. He got
That
the
is
East
funny.
Boogie internet, ladies and gentlemen.
What you know about East
Got family
Boogie,
in
man?
East Boogie. I'm from Illinois. I got family in East Boogie.
Yeah,
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey, JJ.
All right, let me try to share my screen again.
Hey, DMG.
Said King
Yes,
Jay.
sir.
JJ from Decatur.
Oh, for real?
You been there? Yeah. D-Town.
I ain't even know that, JJ.
King Jay, what you know about Decatur?
I'm in
We'll
Champaign.
talk about it later.
Yeah, I'm in Champaign.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, you know my
All
son
right, JJ,
graduated
start
from U of I.
my time.
All right,
And before you start my time, King Jay, I appreciate your grace, brother. You displaying the grace of a Christian.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man.
All right, start my time, JJ.
All right, time starts.
All right, let's
Now, go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, throughout this debate, I've asked one simple question. Was Christianity itself forced upon American slaves? Not whether slaveholders committed evil, not whether churches were hypocritical, not whether religion was abused as a tool of oppression. History answers all of those questions with a resounding yes. The real question is whether Christianity, according to its accepted scholarly definition and the teachings of its founder, Jesus Christ, was forced upon our ancestors. Words matter. Definitions matter. Christianity is not defined by the behavior of every person who claims the name Christian. Christianity is defined by the life, teachings, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. If we abandon that definition, then every worldview must be judged by its worst followers instead of its actual beliefs. That is neither intellectually honest nor historically sound. My opponent has attempted to equate the crimes of slaveholders with Christianity itself, but those are not the same thing.
Internet guys. Internet guys. Hey, look, them ancestors trying to get you off. They trying to like, we ain't rocking with Christianity quick. they forced it. Like, man, come on, man.
Oh, DMG,
They don't want to hear it, DMG.
He said they don't want to hear it.
Nat Turner said, hell no. Oh no. Nat Turner rolling his head right now. He cut it off. That's who did it, Nat Turner.
Nat Turner.
Spirit
of Nat Turner. All right, man. Yeah, man. It's been an entertaining debate.
Let me go on and close, man.
I ain't gonna lie, it was more entertaining than I thought. I thought it was gonna be. So that's better, you know. I knew it was gonna be entertaining, but I didn't think it was gonna be this good.
Let me go on and close,
so,
man.
DMG, you are back up. You got 4 minutes remaining. Hopefully through this.
You still got 4 minutes?
And let's
see. Can y'all hear me?
DMG.
Well, he fell off as soon as he got back on. Yeah, I don't
keep cutting.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go ahead and just from where you was at, just keep going instead of starting back over? Cause you might cut off again, bro.
Yeah. We heard. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I don't know, King Jay. You might have knocked him out, man.
Y'all can hear me, but I can't hear y'all for some reason.
We can hear you now.
All right, look.
Okay,
if y'all
let
can hear
me text you
I'm
and just
just
say
gonna read because I'm on the phone. I'm just gonna read
We can hear
my
you.
finish. I'm gonna start where I left off.
Okay.
But y'all
Go
can
ahead.
hear me, right? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me.
Can you see us? Yeah.
Michelle say y'all can hear me.
Put a 1 in the chat, y'all. Somebody. Yep. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, my opponent may point to passages where Paul instructs slaves to obey their masters, but context matters. Those letters were written to Christians already living under the Roman Empire, a society in which slavery already existed. They were pastoral instructions for believers navigating an existing institution, not commands to create one, expand one, or kidnap free people into one. The same passages also command masters to stop threatening their slaves, to act justly, and to remember that they too have a master in heaven. That undermines the absolute authority claimed by slaveholders. Most importantly, Jesus himself never instructed his followers to enslave people or convert them by force. History also tells another story. Our ancestors did not simply accept the version of religion imposed upon them. They created the invisible institution. They gathered secretly in brush harbors and hidden meetings. They read scripture through their own experience. They identified with Israel's deliverance from Egypt, not Pharaoh's oppression. They sang of freedom. They prayed for freedom. They believed that the same God who delivered Israel would one day deliver them. That was not blind submission to a forced religion. That was the exercise of faith and moral agency. Even many slaveholders feared genuine conversion because they understood that the Bible's message of equality before God could undermine slavery itself. The Black church that emerged after emancipation was not a monument to successful religious coercion. It became one of the greatest institutions of education, civil rights, political organization, mutual aid, and spiritual resistance in American history. If Christianity had simply been forced upon our ancestors, why would they transform it into a source of hope, resistance, dignity, and liberation? Because they distinguish between the religion of Christ and the religion of the slaveholder. That distinction is at the heart of this debate. No one here is defending slavery. No one here is defending the hypocrisy of those who claimed Christ while violating his teaching. What I am defending is historical accuracy and theological precision. The question is not whether evil men quoted the Bible. The question is whether Christianity, as defined by Jesus Christ, commands what those men did. The evidence says no. The teachings of Jesus say no. The historical record says no. The scholarly definition says no. Slaveholders forced oppression. Slaveholders forced labor. Slaveholders often forced outward religious instruction, but they did not force Christianity itself, because genuine Christianity requires faith, a response of the heart that cannot be produced by chains, whips, or laws. You cannot force attendance, or you can force attendance, you can force silence, you can force conformity, but you cannot force faith. That is the resolution before us. That is why the resolution before us should be rejected. Christianity, according to its definition, according to the teachings of Jesus Christ, was not forced upon our ancestors. It was ultimately embraced, reshaped, and proclaimed by many of them, despite the sins of those who falsely claim to represent Christ. I'm done. Thank you. Hey, JJ, I know y'all can't hear me.
Time.
Please give King Jay equal time. I apologize for the technical difficulties.
I appreciate you, feel me? It's all
Yeah. I will. Yeah, you got a little grace. Go ahead, King Jay. Close it out.
Once again, definitely appreciate the brother DMG for allowing me to, battle on this, even take the debate with him. He's the lead owner. It's an honor. So I'm gracious for that. But I'm sorry I had to do it to you, family. You feel me? It's out of love, But when the argument that the brother is making, so if you can show my screen real quick, because he wants to make this theological argument. DMG, could you? DMG, you can't share my screen he fell off. Okay. Well, let me just give you my clothes.
Family.
Yeah, let me give you my clothes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
You got 4 minutes. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen and judges, and my worthy opponent, we have reached the end of this debate, and the historical ledger stands completely undisputed. My opponent spent his time tonight fighting a desperate losing war against the archives. He tried to build a sanctuary out of semantics. He tried to tell you that the blood, the chains, the branding irons, and the forced conversions were the fault of bad people, bad politicians, or the Roman Catholics. Anybody but Christianity, right? But from the very first slide, we blew that sanctuary apart. We dragged them back to the linguistic and structural reality of the text. I showed you Ignatius of Antioch in 110 AD, proving that the institutional hierarchy of the Christian church is of the Catholic Church is the original foundation of the Christian church. I showed you that the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD and the Edict of Thessalonica in 380 AD were the literal definition of what makes a person a Christian, was legally manufactured by a Roman Empire and a Catholic Council under the threat of state execution. You cannot separate the cross from the sword of the empire that compiled it. The Christian church is the Christian church. The Catholic Church, is the Christian church. And its primary law has always been top-down imperial submission. My opponent's entire defense collapses on a single fraudulent premise: the myth that conversion requires conscious intellectual consent. He wants you to believe that our ancestors sat down, read the scriptures, had a theological awakening, and chose of their own free will to follow Christ. History laughs at that delusion. I took you to the shores of West Africa. I took you to San Jorge de Mina in 482, the Amina Castle, where the Portuguese built a Catholic chapel directly over the slave dungeons. I took you to the coast of Angola, where the millions of our terrified chained ancestors were subjugated to the mechanical baptism. Let the record reflect. The devastating historical truth is this: knowledge of doctrine has never been a requirement to be baptized as a Christian under forced conversion. We're talking about forced conversion here. The priests standing on those prison yards did not hand out Bibles. They did not teach catechisms. They did not care if our ancestors understood a single word of the Latin words that were being mumbled over their heads. It was purely mechanical. It was a purely mechanical ritual mandated by the papal bulls of 1452 and 1455. The Portuguese crown needed to register those human assets as Christian souls on a cargo to manifest to satisfy international law before shipping them out. They splashed the water, erased their ancestral names, right? I didn't even get a chance to talk about the muster files, the muster rolls, that when they got here in 1619, the Jamestown 30, how they when they already got here, their already name was changed to Christian names, to Angelo and all them. I didn't even show that slide.
2 minutes remaining.
2 minutes remaining. We erased their ancestral names from record and immediately seared the cross of Christ onto their flesh with a red-hot iron. They were processed as heathens and stamped as Christian assets. That is not evangelism. That is identity laundering at the tip of a spear. And when that cargo landed on the shores of America, the Anglo-American Protestants perfected the trap. My opponent cannot escape the statutory record. I showed you the Virginia Act of 1662, which legally combined the black womb, ensuring that our ancestors passed their chains down to their babies as an inheritable financial asset. And when our ancestors tried to use the church's own water to sue for their freedom. I didn't even get to talk about Elizabeth. I forget her name, Elizabeth something. Those white Christian lawmakers steeped into, or the Stonewall Revolt, steeped into the legislation in 1672 and passed a statute that explicitly stated baptism does not alter the condition of a person as to his bondage. They legally divorced the salvation of the soul from the body. They told our ancestors that Jesus could have their spirit in the next world, but their flesh belonged to the master in this one. And to lock physiological handcuffs, we look at the Bishop of London, Edmund Gibson, in 1722, when he issued his manifesto instructing masters to force Christian instruction onto their plantations because it would make their slaves more obedient and protect their property. They systematically stripped out the book of Exodus. They erased the text of liberation. They forced our ancestors to memorize Ephesians 6:5, where it says, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters." They turned the text into a spiritual whip, convincing the slave that if they resisted the master on earth, they were sinning against the God in heaven. So let us all call it what it is as we close this round. Christianity was not accepted by African slaves. It was systematically, legally, and physically inflicted upon them. It was forced upon them with the text of Leviticus 25, I'm closing now, and Exodus 21, codified the minute chattel. It was forced upon them when the Edict of Thessalonians criminalized their indigenous spirituality. It was forced upon them when the papal bulls ordered them in perpetual reduction to livestock. It was forced upon them when the waters of baptism was used to splash upon their identities at the ports of Angola. And it was forced upon them when the Virginia slave codes turned the gospel into a corporate security handbook to prevent rebellions. The white power structure realized the profound truth. Physical chains can be broken with raw strength, but if you convince a captive that the Almighty God ordained his bondage, he will lock his own shackles. They baptized the soul to secure the property of the body. My opponent wants to defend the book. I am standing here defending the historical memory of our ancestors who bled beneath it. Christianity was forced upon African slaves from the day one, from the Vatican to the plantation into the ark, and as the archives stand as an eternal witness to the crime. I rest.
All right, time. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 25 people in the audience over here. We got 10 people in the audience on JJ7K TV. Put a 1 in the chat for DMG. Put a 2 in the chat for King Jay. Now, I know black folks don't like to get out and vote, but we really appreciate it if you would vote this time. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Get out.
The poll is in the chat. The poll is in the chat.
Oh, okay.
It's also on the community page. Let us know who you thought won. Hey, man, listen, I'm not going to front. The brother King Jay, he smacked me upside my head a couple of times, especially with the questions. He punched me in my eye and bloodied my nose with the questions. I'm not gonna lie, man. Listen,
that's a good question.
I can't wait to get King Jay in World Wars. Hey, listen, can you imagine King Jay in the chin check session?
I'm looking forward to it.
Listen, when King Jay get in Worldview Wars, man, y'all gonna have some problems.
I'm looking forward to it.
Imagine King Jay being able to ask as many questions as he can in a 10-minute time frame.
Ooh, that's what it is? We get 10 minutes.
Yeah, in Worldview Wars, you get 2 10-minute rounds, but you get a 10-minute chin check session, which is a Q&A. But you ask your opponent as many questions as you can in a 10-minute time frame, and you can also stop your time 3 times, and then they get the same thing.
Oh yeah, that's a knockout round. That's a knockout round.
Hey, a lot of people flame out. Like when they be getting asked questions, they straight up quit.
Doing that.
I kid you not. Hey, I done seen it a few times, bro.
That's
like they get straight. Hey, watch the debate with Jose and JJ, because I'm predicting one of them is gonna get frustrated and flame out.
You think so? I'm definitely gonna stay tuned in after this. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely here for it. You know what I'm saying? I got my day set aside for it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, man, powerful debate once again. So yeah, brother. I definitely just appreciate the opportunity to you know grace the platform. You know, so. Yeah, I definitely thought I
appreciate it too.
The link to JJ versus Jose is in the chat. Y'all might as well just shoot over there because we're gonna be over there in 15 minutes. JJ is defending the Paradigm Shift TV 314 debate title. Now, for those who get it confused, that is not the same as the Worldview Wars Debate League title. This is strictly the Paradigm Shift title. But there is a Worldview Wars Debate League world title. We about to get King Jay over there. We're going to be releasing the top 10 at the end of the month. Hopefully we can get King Jay over there to the debate. You know, you ain't got to have many debates to qualify for the top 10. You just got to have a powerful performance. Gideon is about to take on my brother Lucifer the Devil, and that may have title implications. We're going to talk about it, but y'all look forward to that. That's going to be a powerful debate.
That sounds like
Gideon say he hit King Jay by mistake.
That's my bad. I made a false.
Hey, JJ. So
hey, listen, that was my fault. I said it was a championship match. So my fault between King Jay and Gideon. It hasn't been determined yet, y'all. So we will figure it out. Does anybody want to come on the stage to ask questions, or are we gonna just close it out? We done.
Hey, what the poll looking like? Let me see what the poll looking like.
So my debate.
Yeah, because look, I put the link in the chat. Didn't nobody hit it? So look, hey JJ, if you gotta go, me and the brother can handle the questions. We're gonna get out of here in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat for people to come on. My debate
starting about 30 minutes, right? Starting about 30 minutes?
Yep, we'll be ready for your debate. We'll be ready for your debate in 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then we're gonna jump over there with JJ.
Peace and blessings.
For sure.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna send well, he gone, but I'm gonna send them the link. But yeah, link is in the chat. If anybody want to ask us questions, we probably take maybe 3 people, and then we're gonna get out of here so we can get ready for Jose and JJ.
Yeah. I knew you was gonna come with that angle with the theology of the defining of what Christianity it is. So you know I'm not gonna let you get that lick.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, I'm not gonna front. I liked your response to it though. I definitely liked your response to it.
Mm-hmm. You gotta keep it my lane. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to keep it in regards to what I'm talking about in regards to the laws and the ethics and
I hate I kept falling off, but I definitely enjoyed the it was like a battle of attrition because I really did enjoy how you came. Mm-hmm. I just had to stick to my guns, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. We had a couple same like that 1662 and 1667 Virginia law. We same sources sometimes, just different. We argue different points from it.
Exactly. I like that too because it showed a continuity and how you can have the same information from a different perspective. Jose, you got questions for either one of us? Jose, you there?
Gideon and Jose.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
You got a question for me or King Jay?
I just want to say, I almost started speaking tongues the way you was preaching that DMG. I had a little passion in your man. I almost opened my Bible and started dance a little Christian jig there. I said, nah, man, this man can't be on here acting like a pastor. Yeah, so King Jay was a good debate, but just on GP, I had to go with DMG on this one because he made an argument that I can't go against. If it was someone else, I probably would have gone against the argument. But he made a good argument. It's something I've often said. African Christianity was never the same as European Christianity. So I have to agree with that statement. Just to be honest, but it was a good debate. So you guys tune in later. We're gonna have another great debate, right? And you're gonna see me take that title off of JJ 7000 today.
Woo-wee.
For
he
sure.
Say he gonna take it off of him.
I might be the underdog, but they're gonna be carrying me out saying, "Long live the Ice Smiter," because I'm not playing.
And listen, we got 2 judges, and we're going with the audience poll. So we got 2 judges and the audience. So it's gonna be an interesting debate. The chin check is in effect, so they're gonna have 10 minutes to ask each other as many questions as they can. And remember, with the chin check, the person who is asking the questions, Gideon familiar with this. The person who asking the question is controlling their time. So when they say stop, the other person got to stop. And that's where the problem come in, because the other person be trying to still answer, trying to debate. No, you got to stop and let them reset and either get clarity on your answer or move to their next question. But it's up to the person asking the question to control the time. That's why they got 3 timeouts. So it's gonna get hectic, especially with JJ and Jose. Hey, Gideon, you got a question for me or King Jay?
Yeah, man. First, I just want to say all praises to the Most High in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach. Appreciate you letting me on, man. That was a fire debate, man. Both of y'all put in that work. Y'all had good information, but as we all know, a person can win a debate even if, a person don't believe in those debaters, ideas. It's just on how good you prove your point. And with that being said, King Jay still, in my opinion, as far as with the judges, he still have, this is still up in the air to me. So with my 2 questions, it's going to kind of, see to me, because if the judges focus on a certain thing, that's why I say it can sway. So to DMG,
Gideon, because it was me debating as the platform owner, and because my judges that was available are already judging JJ and Jose, we just going with the poll.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, King Jay, if he would have had more time to drill in on his point, because it seemed like you really didn't. So I'm gonna ask you, okay, King Jay said that, Yahshua changed nothing about the law, and with that being said, he showed you certain texts in the Torah where it talks about slaves and how you can own them and this and that. And I felt your rebuttal, was good enough, but if he was to press it, I felt. So what would you say to that? Like, how does it cancel out that law if that's a functioning law in the Torah?
Well, I would stick to what I said. Number one, it don't apply to non-Israelites. That's number one. So anybody else trying to justify their actions by doing it, they would have to show that was for them to do and not just applying to the Israelites at that particular time. That's first. Second, they would have to show me where, again, because we know while Christ didn't quote unquote change the law, he did make some adjustments. And we got evidence of that because, as he said, you heard it said, thou shalt not commit adultery. But I'm telling you, if you look at a woman lustfully, you've already committed adultery in your heart. So he made some adjustments. So I would submit that even though he don't make a clear statement on slavery, his statements about liberation and the oppressed make his stance, to me at least, clear on it. So if you want to press me on Israelites having slaves within that particular time and that particular context, and you want to superimpose that over what Europeans was doing, I'm going to simply say Christ, the man who Christianity is based on, spoke of liberation, spoke of freedom. In the spirit of the Lord, there's liberty. So that would be my answer to that.
Oh, okay. No doubt. I don't know if King Jay wanted to respond, but I do have a question for him.
Yeah, I really wouldn't accept that answer that he gave, Gideon. Like you say, if I had more time, I would have pressed that because he didn't really answer it. I would say that in regards to the actual scripture was Leviticus 25, 44 through 6, where it commands that you can buy human beings from other nations around you. So my question to DMG should have been more directly as asking him, do you think did Jesus change Leviticus 25 in regards to that particular commandment where you are allowed to have slaves?
Okay. All right. So now my question is to King Jay.
Hey,
King
if
Jay,
I may though,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I would submit just like he said. I ain't answered that one, and I gave my answer. Just like my first question, he never answered it. So, touche. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, King Jay, when you was describing all the things that the slavers that they did to us, during the Ma'afa, and how we were treated, persecuted, suppressed, and oppressed, is there any one scripture, because we're talking about Christianity? Is there any one scripture? Because a person can say that they're a Christian, as DMG, showed it to us time and time again. But the actions is what matters. So if a person says they're a doctor, but they don't have a medical degree or even knowledge of medicine, that doesn't make them a doctor. I'm sure you would agree with that. So as DMG asks, but when debates be going, things be moving fast. Could you show us where the teachings of Christ or the teachings of Paul tells us to go out, subdue, and place people into captivity, verbatim in the scripture?
So I think I would refer you to probably Luke 4:18.
Okay, could you reread that for us and the people listening?
Let me see. I have to pull it up. It was a part of my string down here.
Which one you said? I could probably.
Hold on, let me see. You asked about Paul. I was trying to see. No, I gave you Luke 4:18.
And that's when it says, "The Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because He hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He sent me to the heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised." I think you died at your own source with that one, bro.
Give you Mark 10:42 through 43.
Mark 10. Mark 10, which one? 41? What? Wait.
42.
But Yeshua called them to him and said unto them, "You know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them." So that's a contextual fallacy, but okay.
And that's what the brother's infamous GMG's argument is, right? Because the fact that he didn't argue, he couldn't answer Leviticus, right? So Leviticus in this question ties hand in hand, because if you can't say that. So can you answer this question for me, DMG? Does Jesus condemn Leviticus 25? Yes or no?
Not that I
Now,
know.
if you're asking me, or you asking DMG,
Well,
I mean,
DMG. I was asking DMG.
I don't think he needs to condemn Leviticus, because, like I said, it was for the Israelites at that particular time when it was written.
So Leviticus.
I don't think we can superimpose Leviticus over any other time frame other than the time frame it was written in.
So the early church fathers that were using Leviticus, were they using it incorrectly?
As far as what?
Enslaving other nations besides their own.
Absolutely.
But is that not what the text says?
That don't mean they was using it correctly. Are they Israelites?
So if I may, I'll say this, since we're not going to kind of have a after party about this or whatever. So what I was hoping DMG would say or revert to, but you know them Christians, man, they don't know that law, man. So
yeah, no, I ain't an Israelite, so I ain't got to follow the law. So, but look, hey, we do got to get out of here. I got one more question for King Jay, and Gideon, you can answer this too. Jose, you can tap in, but probably not, because you got a debate. Why when people bring up the scripture, slave, obey your master, they don't continue the scripture and say what the master's obligation is to the slave in terms of treating them justly and fairly and not abusing them? Why they just cut it off as slave obey your master?
They're trying to frame a narrative.
I agree.
Theology.
And DMG, I just want to let you know, bro. What your
You went out getting.
you can hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So when they make that argument with you, all you do is point them towards Deuteronomy 23:16, where it says that anybody caught stealing a man will be put to death. And then you also go to Exodus 21:6, where it says that if a person who is who's a servant, if they flee or they run from their master, you are not to return them. So that's what I was looking for you to say. You know what I'm saying? So
Wait. Because Gideon, did Paul return them? Tell him to return or no?
Well, like DMG was saying, in the context of the Roman Empire, Paul is not trying to upend that, because that's a whole economy. So when you read the scripture, like he was saying, if we're going to listen to Paul, that master would treat his servant like he would want the Most High to treat him, because that's what Paul tells the master. Like DMG said, they stopped reading it because further down it tells the master how to behave towards the servant. So he's not telling you to start a revolution in the sense of upending the Roman Empire. The revolution is more or less from within, because the kingdom is within.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, King Jay?
And all that's interpretation.
So listen, so family, check this out. The link for JJ and Jose debate is in the chat. Y'all click over there. I'm headed over there right now. We finna kick that thing off. The title is on the line: The Mighty Mandinka Mali against the Eye Smiter Jose Francis. Hope y'all enjoyed this debate. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate and respect King Jay. He put that work in. It was a hell of a debate. I apologize, King Jay, for the technical difficulties. I will say, not just to King Jay, but anybody who has a critique of Christianity, from now on, when you say the slave obey your master verse, make sure you go down a few verses and talk about what the slave master obligation was to the slave, and don't compare that to what happened to our ancestors no more. Hey, this your brother DMG. Click over to the debate between Jose Francis and Mandinka Mali. We about to get that in. It's Paradigm Shift TV 314, Worldview Wars Debate League. We're going to be right back at it. Appreciate y'all.
I told you I wasn't stepping to. I ain't disrespecting you, son. You wanted to be that way. What? You wanted to be that way. What is the other way?
Yeah. Funny how everybody loved the debate till the judges say they lost. Funny how everybody claim they want smoke till the scorecards come across.
My name is my name.
Everybody gangster when the verdict go their way. Taking victory laps, posting on social media all day. But let them catch an L, now the judges all corrupt. Now the rules wasn't fair, now the platform messed up. When you won, it was justice. When you lost, it was rigged. When the spotlight was on you, man, you danced a little jig.
Funny how the narrative changes overnight. You a scholar on Monday, by Tuesday ready to fight.
Y'all don't want accountability, you want applause. Want championship treatment without championship flaws. See, debate ain't about feelings, it's about evidence, argument, and skill. Sometimes you climb the mountain,
sometimes you fall down the hill. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
but it's the other way.
When you win, it's all love.
When you lose, it's another day. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
the same judges you praised last month